Please welcome Navneeth, Krishna.
It's going to be fun. I'm happy seeing you host this. Leaving Google was the toughest decision that I've ever made. I was 30 years old at the time. No money coming in. Zero contacts. Proper dream come true for me. It was literally, I'll be very honest.
Namaskara everybody, welcome to RCB Fan Army Dugout, the place where all cricket fans come together to talk about the sport we love. Whether you're an RCB fan or just an avid cricket lover, this is the spot for you. We'll delve into players, matches, behind the scenes, but everything cricket. Our guest is someone who has chosen passion over predictability. After working for a decade at Google, he took a leap of faith into the field of sports broadcasting. Since then, he's hosted events like ICC tournaments, Pro Kabaddi, and also taken the stage as a TEDx speaker. For RCB fans, of course, he's a familiar face because he was the man who brought out the energy as the host of 12th Man TV. Please welcome Navneeth, Krishna.
Wow, what an introduction. Thank you so much. I'm super happy to be here. And it's going to be fun. And I'm happy seeing you host this. And it's different for me to be on the other side and not be hosting for a change. So I'm looking forward to this. Thank you so much.
Firstly, thank you so much for doing this with us. It's an honor, rather more than an honor, because we've all seen you. And today to be having you at the other side of the table truly means a lot for us.
Listen, when we're talking about RCB, no matter how many times we need to talk about the same thing, we can do that again and again and again, right? So super happy to be here.
Yes. So, firstly, I'll be honest, people dream to work at Google. But then somebody working at Google since a decade, and then you suddenly shift to sports broadcasting. Like, how was that shift in sudden?
You know, I keep saying that this is probably the toughest decision that I've ever made. Getting married was not the toughest decision, but leaving Google was.
Right.
They take good care of you. They pamper you. It was supposed to be a 1-year stint at Google or a max 2-year stint. That's what I told my parents when I left Bangalore, that I'm going to do my MBA right after 2 years at Google. That 2 years became 5 years, 7 years, 9 years, almost 10 years at Google. No MBA happened. And, but that's just the way it is. There's a reason why they're one of the best employers in the world. It's not a representation of the corporate world. Absolutely loved every minute that I spent at Google, which is why it was a hard decision to make. To quit. And at the time, obviously, I had no idea about what the broadcasting world is going to be about. It's easy for me to sit here now and talk about it. But at that time, like you said, a leap of faith, it was a massive risk I was taking.
Right.
Risk, I say, but a calculated risk only because my wife's backing was there. And so she was the one who pushed me to do this. So it feels nice.
So you said your wife's backing was there, yes, but switching careers obviously isn't that easy. What was that turning point, that like, I need to do this, that turning point when you switched careers?
When I was at Google, I would do a lot of hosting.
Right.
I would do commentary in Google's Google Cricket League, Google Football League, Google Basketball League. And I would host a lot of Google conferences as an MC. Something about holding the mic gave me a high. And I'm just like any other kid in the country. Cricket was always close to me. So at some point, I wanted to bring cricket and holding the mic together.
Correct.
And I don't know why, but every time I was watching cricket from very early on, I always paid extra attention to what commentators and presenters had to say.
Correct.
So I had a keen eye towards that. And then I started to like holding the mic and talking cricket. And there's only one thing you can do, and that is be a broadcaster. And so when I did that at Google, everyone was like, dude, you need to take this up seriously. And I never paid too much attention. But then I don't know what it was, but at some point I realized that every additional year after 10 years in Google is likely to be incremental learning. But if I do something drastically different, it'll be an exponential learning for my life.
Correct. Right.
And so I did my 10 years at Google. I think I did a fair amount of time. I understood what the company is all about and what it'll give me. And so I decided to take up a new experience. It was a big challenge for me. And like I said, my wife, Deepthi, she said, I'm going to support the family financially. and we thought about everything. And that support allowed me to go and do it, because suddenly from 2 incomes in the family, it goes to 1 income, right? Because I'm not going to earn anything. And at the time I was earning a decent amount of money at Google. And so you suddenly go to 0 as my paycheck. And how do you digest the fact that you're not going to get a paycheck every day, right? That salary coming in every single month. Let's face it, there's a big reason as to why we go back to office every day.
True.
So, and suddenly you're sitting there 30 years old and that paycheck is not coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so now what? Now that was the tough part, is that you got to get used to life as a freelancer, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Do you ever feel like you want to go back to Google?
You know, I don't think I ever want to go back to Google to work at Google. I'd love to keep going back to Google to be a guest speaker and be able to help others take on their journey of following their dreams and passions. And I was lucky enough to be invited a couple of times already as a guest speaker at Google. That's a special feeling.
Right.
To be able to go back to your former employer. A lot of them are people that you know. And I was invited a couple of times to go there, talk to fellow Googlers, telling them about my journey. That is a feeling that I cannot describe. So I'd love to keep going back to Google to just spend time with Googlers. I don't know if it'll necessarily be to go back and work at Google.
Right.
Yeah.
So as much as I have read about you and heard your interviews, you didn't seem to have a lot of contacts in the broadcasting field. It was all very new to you. So how did you land your first opportunity? Like, it's to go into a field of unknowns, like literally no contacts. How was that for you?
That was the tough part. I was 30 years old at the time, no money coming in, 0 contacts, 0 experience. And now I'm sitting at home. I don't have to go to office anymore. I'm like, what am I going to do now?
Right.
I have no idea how this is going to work. Nobody knows me. And then I'm trying to reach out. Like, obviously, at the time, like now, Star Sports was the biggest broadcaster. So I'm like, I want to be on Star Sports. I want to be a broadcaster there. So I reach out to them. They don't even get back to me. Why would they? Because I'm new to them.
Yes.
Essentially a nobody, right? So they barely even responded to my messages and my text. And I'm trying to contact other people. Somehow I managed to reach out to in the industry. Nobody would even respond. And in Google, that was unknown. You even message or ping the director saying, I want to meet you in Google. You will be allowed to meet your director in Google. That's just the way the culture at Google was. And suddenly I get used to the world outside, where it's a harsh reality check that life at Google was no representation of how the world is going to be outside. Right? And that was hard. And when I look back, those first few months when I basically made very little progress, nobody's even reaching out to me. And in my mind, I'm like, what did I just do? And so those thoughts were obviously there.
During that phase, did you ever have thoughts in your mind like, मैं वापस Google चले जाता हूँ, I should go back to Google?
100%.
Right?
I even, like, at the time, my wife used to be in Google Singapore.
Okay.
And so when I'm spending time with her, I'm at home, she's gone to office. And then suddenly the whole day is going by, day after day, week after week, no work. I'm trying to reach out to people, nobody's saying anything. And I'm sitting at home, I'm like, this is tough. This is really tough. And at one point, I opened the Google Careers website also. And I'm looking at the roles that are available.
Wow.
Of course I did that. I opened that. And now I'll only be happy to say that I closed that tab on the laptop, right? And I have another story to tell. But of course, I thought about what it would be like if I go back to Google. At that time, many times, almost every other day.
Right.
Yeah, because when you have an empty mind, when you have an empty day, you know what they say, right? An empty mind is a devil's playground.
Yes.
It is so true. Because you're always thinking negatively. You're like, I don't think this is going to work out. How is this going to work out? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, thankfully it worked out.
So, what was your first opportunity that you ever worked on as a sports broadcaster?
Yeah, you know, it's funny when I look back, but it's the little things that add up. So I first for the first 4 months, 5 months after I quit Google, I had absolutely no work, absolutely zero.
5 months.
Nothing at all.
Okay.
And even after that, one fine day, I randomly woke up and I told myself, listen, the IPL starting soon. I don't have anything to lose. I'd love to just put out my own content.
Right.
So I called it as a quick single, like cricket terminology. But in a single minute, I would summarize a match.
Okay.
And I would put that out on Instagram, YouTube, blah, blah, blah. And so that was my first real work that I did. Not for anybody else, but for my own platform itself. And so eventually, after I did that for the entire IPL season, there was a school tournament in Bangalore happening after that. For all the international schools, there was a school tournament happening, and the team that runs that tournament reached out to me thanks to my friend connecting me to him, a good friend here in Bangalore called Vincent, who helped me a lot at the time. And so he connected me to somebody, and they reached out saying, listen, we're looking for like a on-ground presenter, commentator for a school tournament. And then they saw my YouTube videos that I had done just then. And they're like, okay, come. And the pay was pretty much nothing, very little.
Yeah.
But I'm like, that's okay. I wasn't worried about the money. And so I did that. And then the same organizers are also in charge of the Karnataka Premier League at the time.
Okay.
For like on-ground emceeing and stuff. And so they were happy with my work there. And so I was the on-ground MC for the KPL.
Right.
And so those were my first 2 real gigs to get me going.
And then we see you hosting ICC tournaments.
Yeah.
Like, it's a dream. It's obviously a dream for many. What is like a usual day hosting an ICC tournament? What is the behind the scenes that people don't know about? Like, we don't know what happens. Yeah. We just see the field.
Yeah, of course. No, it was a proper dream come true for me. It was literally 1.5 or 2 years into my broadcasting career. There was no career at that time.
Correct.
I was barely making any stride, but just even before ICC happened, RCB happened. And we'll come to that anyway.
Yeah.
But after I did the Karnataka Premier League, and then luckily through another friend connecting me to somebody, the Everest Premier League happened in Nepal.
Oh, okay.
It's their version of the IPL. And so I was a commentator, part of the panel over there. First time doing it with former cricketers and massive crowds. Nepal will never disappoint when it comes to a cricket match. They love their cricket. They are proper fanatics of the game, right? So that was an amazing experience. And then after that is when RCB happened. And after the first season of RCB is when, for whatever, I'd gone to Dubai for a wedding. During that time, I thought it'll be good for me to meet ICC folks. I went and pitched something to them. Then for about a month and a half, I didn't hear back from them. One random day, it was already the start of the new year. And I was just getting ready to get into bed. And suddenly I see a message from one of the ICC folks. And they're like, hey, would you be available for this date to this day? I ran to my wife and I'm like, I showed her the message and I'm like, where did this come from? Because I'd given up hope because a month and a half since I met them and I didn't hear from them at all. And the tournament was the ICC Under-19 Cricket World Cup in 2020 in South Africa. It was starting 10 days from when they reached out to me.
Okay.
And I don't have a visa to go to South Africa. I was in Singapore at the time. And as luck would have it, because I was in Singapore, I was able to go in time because there the visa processing time is significantly faster. On a Monday, I applied. On a Friday afternoon, I got it, and Friday evening was my flight. So I literally, on Friday, I go to the visa office, I pick up my passport, I come back home, I take my suitcase and I leave to the airport. And if I was in India, that tournament would not have happened for me because the visa processing time for South African visa is at least 1 month at a minimum. Okay. And what luck that I was in Singapore. They reached out to me just in the nick of time. I got the visa in 5 days and I leave to South Africa. And 5 days, about a week before, I was wondering, where is this going? Nothing's happening. Absolutely clueless. And it was the start of a brand new year. Nothing's working out. And out of nowhere, suddenly a week later, I'm in South Africa. And then I got there. The next day was the start of the World Cup. I wake up in the morning, I get ready. There's a bus waiting for us to leave from the hotel to the venue, the stadium. And I get into the bus and I'm sitting right at the back because I'm that new kid, like a obedient kid. I go straight at the back so that no one else has to go. And the next thing I know, I see H.D. Ackerman, Alan Wilkins, Ian Bishop, J.P. Duminy, all of them enter one by one. I'm like, what am I doing here? Why am I here with people that I look up to, broadcasting royalty? The likes of Alan Wilkins, Ian Bishop are gold standards in world broadcast.
Ian Bishop, to all of us also see at this point of time.
I was like, dude, what am I doing here? How did I get here? Right? And the next, I think it was about 20 days that I was there. Surreal experience to be on the ground with so many former greats who are today real legends in cricket broadcast, and to be able to share the stage with them, host previews and reviews with them. Unreal experience. Never forget that. It's been 5 years, but I'll remember every bit of it.
As Virat Kohli says, it's all God's plan. You know, you being in Singapore, that you getting your visa, and
it played out perfectly. When I look at it in hindsight, it almost felt like it was destined to happen.
So, out of all the ICC tournaments that you've hosted, is there any particular match or game that you were like, wow, you were like mind blown, and you were like, as a fan and as a host, you were like, what just happened? What did I just witness?
Okay, so 2 stories. One as a fan and one as a host.
Right, okay.
One as a fan, I was lucky to be in Mumbai at the Wankhede Stadium when Dhoni hit that 6. Okay, in 2011.
Oh, okay, wow.
And the story over there, we all have our superstitions, right, when it comes to cricket. So we were 4 of us going for the World Cup final. India was Sri Lanka, 2011. Okay. 4 of us went for that game. We had 3 tickets in the second row of the Sunil Gavaskar stand.
Okay.
And 1 ticket was in the first row. So first row, 1 ticket, and 3 tickets in the second row. Luckily, the person sitting next to the 3 of us over here was alone.
Okay.
So we said, dude, if you don't mind, go in the front, just the row front of us, so that my friend can come behind and the 4 of us can sit together. He said, okay. And plus he gets to sit in the front row, better view.
Yeah.
So he went there. First innings, everything went on pretty well. And then I have no idea what got into him at the halfway break. He said, no, I want to go and sit in my seat. I'm like, that's a better seat. You're alone. Why would you want to come and sit in the seat behind? He's like, no, I want to sit there. He had no reason at all. And I'm like, what is this guy? I didn't want to make a scene out of it. I said, okay. So I went and sat in the front. And he came and sat behind. And my friends are behind. What happens? Sehwag gets out. Next thing, Malinga, Sachin gets out. Pin drop silence at the Wankhede. I said, this is it. I've had enough. I told him, bro, you cannot sit there now. If you continue to sit there, we're going to lose the game. I said, you come back and sit in the front row only, and I will go and sit there. Or we both go and sit on the staircase. We won't even sit on the steps. He's like, I'm not sitting in the front. I made him sit on the aisle, the staircase, for the entire second innings. And we all have our reasons as to why India won that World Cup. That's my reason as to why India won the World Cup. So unreal experience to be at the Wankhede when Dhoni hit that 6. And when those 40,000 people were singing the national anthem, Jana Gana Mana, at the start of the game, goosebumps. Unbelievable. There was barely any Sri Lankan fan at all. It was pretty much all India. And that as a fan, 2011, April 2nd, I'll never forget that for sure. So that as a fan. As a host, just far more recent, last year I was lucky enough
T20
to be hosting the ICC T20 World Cup for Star Sports and Hotstar at the time. And to be hosting the finals of the World Cup and the manner in which India went on to winning that game. So when it was 30 needed of 30, we were all sitting in the studio there, and each of us, many of our anchors, commentator friends, everyone were there. And game was almost getting done because it was 30 of 30 South Africa needed. And so we're all about to leave to our respective studios, English, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Hindi, etc. And so in my mind, I'm rehearsing what my opening lines will be to start the show. another defeat for India and whatever, blah, blah, blah. And this,
Oh,
that.
so you were all
Yeah,
preparing.
we were all preparing for India to lose that game. By the time I take the lift from the 6th floor and I come downstairs to where my studio was, Jasprit Bumrah bowled that over, picks up wickets, barely conceding any runs, and suddenly the game is getting interesting. And I had a few of our friends around over here, and I made sure none of them moved from their seats as well. And when India went on to winning that World Cup from 30 needed of 30 in a T20 game, as a host, to be hosting the post-match show with India lifting the World Cup, it was, I don't think that moment will ever repeat in my life. It's almost like there was such a high. So as a fan, as a host, I've been lucky enough to have two really special moments and two moments where India lifted World Cups. One in the ODI World Cup, one the T20 World Cup. So, one as a fan and one as a host.
I read in one of the articles that you were on air when India lifted the World Cup, T20 World Cup. Could you really express what went on in your mind, and or were you all just chilled and ye kya ho gaya? And when Surya Kumar Yadav caught that, it was the least expected thing that could happen.
Absolutely. It was. That catch was insane. And to your point, when I was hosting the show, there was no nerves, absolutely nothing. There were a few crore people watching it on Hotstar at the time, right? And so I was on obviously I'm on a high because India's just won the World Cup. I'm at the top of my voice, looking into the camera and also looking at the screen. And I'm voicing that moment when Rohit Sharma lifted the World Cup, and then the rest of the team came and they gave the World Cup to Rahul Dravid. And then he does that. And then I'm voicing that moment.
Right.
And none of us have ever seen Rahul Dravid so expressive. Other than that cred ad where he was Indranagar Ka Gunda, right? Otherwise, nobody's ever seen him so expressive. And so that got more out of me when I was voicing that moment, because suddenly you're seeing Rahul Dravid like that. I was like, man, this means so much to him because he's never won a World Cup. Right? And that was his only chance at holding a World Cup.
True.
And he's done everything possible for Indian cricket over 2 decades almost, right? So it showed how much it meant to him. And that moment meant everything to me. And then the next day I woke up and obviously social media is flooded with India winning the World Cup. And that clip where I was voicing that moment when Rahul Dravid lifted the World Cup went viral. And I was seeing it on so many people's handles and things like that, and it felt nice. Felt nice that India won the World Cup, and felt nice that I was lucky to be there, to be voicing that when millions of Indians were watching that.
I'll pick something from your fan wala moment where you said you were at the Wankhede. So I've heard you speak a lot about how your father has pre-match rituals, that superstition. So have you picked up anything from what he does, or do you have your own?
No. I have my own. My dad, he has his own too. Yeah, he's a proper RCB fan.
Okay.
Like even the other day, at home, outside the house, when it's Diwali or some of the festivals, outside the house, you have those lights that you put up.
Yes.
And so we always have those lights permanently put in front of our house that dangles down. And the other day he had put those lights on. We generally never turn it on if it's not a festival.
Correct.
He turned it on. I'm like, Daddy, why did you turn on the lights? He's like, no, today's RCB match. I was So that's how he looks at an RCB game. But his superstitions are different. Mine are very different. And mine are almost imposing. Like, if all of us are in these positions and RCB's or India is winning, I'll make sure you guys are in these positions for the rest of the game.
Whatever happens.
Literally. That's how I am. Why my friends hate me for it and they sometimes don't want to watch a cricket match with me because I'll make sure they're sitting exactly in the same place.
So this is the other side of the broadcast.
Exactly.
As much as we know the calm and poised Navneeth Krishna, this
100%.
is like a fan.
I'm calmer as a broadcaster than I am as a fan.
Has anything changed for you after you have viewed the T20 World Cup victory so close as a broadcaster or just as a viewer? Viewing a sport is different, but viewing a sport so close every day, day in, day out, being at the venue, being around the players and watching how they train, coming in, the emotions, has anything changed for you?
I don't know if anything's changed, but it reiterates one thing that I have gotten from this career. As cliched as it sounds, this doesn't feel like work for me, right? And on those days when I was doing the World Cup and when I was doing the final, there's a reason why they say that try to find a job that doesn't feel like a job. And I'm lucky enough that I get to travel the country and the world to do what I do, but it doesn't feel like work. And so when I did the World Cup, man, that was a dream come true. I didn't want that month to end.
Correct.
The month of June 2024 will be the best month of my life. It was like a dream. I would do morning shifts, evening shifts. I was like a zombie. I'll wake up for a 6:30 call time in the morning to cover the morning game. I'll come back to the hotel at 11:30, 12 in the afternoon. And then I'll go back by 4:30 for the evening game and I'll come back at midnight, 12 a.m. And this would go on every day for the month. I wouldn't have it any other way. It just reiterated that when you have a job that you absolutely love, it doesn't feel like a job, and that is a privilege.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm grateful for that. And so when I did the World Cup, it reiterated the fact that what I have is a privilege and I will never take that for granted.
Correct.
Yeah.
So coming to everybody's favorite, India's most loved sporting festival, IPL. So starting from the auctions, I'll talk specifically about RCB. Most of the people who saw the auctions, kya hai ye team? What is this team? What is RCB doing? Leaving out on players. We're going to lose the cup this time. But cut to now, we've seen how the team has unfolded and how we're having those wins. What do you have to say about that?
I'll be very honest. Even I didn't expect this kind of a performance from this team, especially the bowling, right? Unbelievable. They're definitely punching above their weight, in my opinion. I was skeptical myself after what happened at the auction. I'm like, do we have a bowling lineup? And it's interesting what Mo Bobat said, right? He said, we're not looking for big names. RCB has always been a franchise where we've had big names, bowling, batting, in every department. But we want a well-balanced bowling attack that will win us matches in Chinnaswamy and away from Chinnaswamy as well. So, but at the time, obviously, as RCB fans, we're used to having only the big names, right?
Right.
And so when we didn't pick up Mitchell Stark, we didn't pick up Yuzi, suddenly everyone's like, listen, who do we have then? Right? But fast forward many months later, look at how they're gelling together. Suyash Sharma is not India's best spinner. It doesn't even feature for India. Krunal Pandya is not playing for India right now. Josh Hazelwood, Bhuvi and Yash Dayal have been brilliant. Yash Dayal, what a spectacular season he's having. He's not the most popular name. He's not going to attract everyone's attention. Gets the job done. And so when you look at all of them, no real superstars, but they're working well together. And I guess that's what really helped the likes of Chennai Super Kings, Mumbai Indians and stuff over the years win so many titles, right?
Correct.
Now you look at them as superstars, but at the time, Hardik Pandya was not a superstar. Jasprit Bumrah was not a superstar. But it's how they came together as a unit, and suddenly RCB is looking that part. From what I thought at the auction to what they're doing in the season, I'm super surprised, pleasantly surprised.
So bowling especially, coming to Josh Hazelwood specifically, we've seen how Mitchell Stark is having that crazy crowd pulling, 10 bowled. But Josh Hazelwood quietly comes in, bowls his 4 overs, takes wickets, win matches. It's not something that RCB has seen before. Suyash Sharma, Virat Kohli said he's a dark horse. He does not take up as many wickets, but bowling those overs I think those are where we don't see, but are the winning overs that he bowls for us. So it's just coming together.
None of the 5 bowlers that we speak about are superstars.
Yeah.
Very honestly.
True.
But I think in a way, there are people who don't mind not having the limelight or the camera on them all the time. Mitch Stark, because of his pace, and everything else and the aggression, he's a crowd puller, like so many others. Josh Hazelwood is not that person. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is not that person. He's always been a consistent performer for India and for SRH before and now for RCB. Bhuvaneshwar Kumar is never going to be the most talked about cricketer, right? But within his limitations, he'll give you the job every single time. There's something about Bhuvi that not many can, right? And Yash Dayal we spoke about, Krunal and Suyash. Look at all the 10 spin attacks.
Yeah.
Where will you rank Krunal and Suryash in that? Especially before the start of the season. You'll probably pull them in the bottom half. Look at how they're performing right now, right? And not just the spinners and not just the medium pacers, but it's how they're doing it together.
Correct.
Krunal and Suyash have been fabulous in containing runs, and wickets are coming from the medium pacers. Or sometimes it's the other way around as well, right? So RCB this year is not about the big names, but it's about a team coming together, filling the gaps. And, as cliched as it sounds, they say the sum of the parts is greater than the whole. This is essentially how it is coming for RCB this season. And in the batting as well, right? Obviously, the biggest name is Virat, but then Rajat's performing on some occasions. Krunal in the previous game.
Tim David.
Virat has been phenomenal, especially in chases. Tim David on a couple of games. Phil Salt in a game. And essentially, I've spoken about the entire batting order, much like I spoke about the entire bowling order.
Correct.
I think we have had 5 different player of the matches award winners in RCB.
Yes.
In the 7 games we've won so far. Krunal has won 2, Rajat has won 2, which essentially means we've had 5 in 7 wins. It tells you that this is for how long RCB was like, bro, Virat gets out, AB gets out, Gale gets out, we're done. Virat gets out, AB de Villiers gets out, or Maxwell gets out, we're done. Bowling is not there, rest of the batting lineup is not there, death bowling is bad, our death finishing with the bat is bad. And so we've always had chinks in the armor.
Correct.
For the first time, it's a team where everyone's contributing. There's no real one superstar so far.
True.
Everyone's had their time under the limelight. And I don't want to say more than that.
I think a lot of people have been seeing RCB perform so well this season, but I don't know if their eyes also fall towards the support staff, the coach, and our mentor, Dinesh Karthik. Talk about him, and I think it's just so perfect how this year he's come into the coaching side, and we have actually not seen this way, for RCB. DK is there at the boundary, every over talking in and telling his inputs, and I feel somewhere that has made an impact. And I don't know if you'd agree with me if this is somewhere how RCB is winning a greater percentage of their games.
It's hard for anyone to attribute it to any one particular person.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really had the opportunity to interact too much with Dinesh Karthik. I'm a big DK fan. And for me, like I said, I've not had much interactions with him or haven't worked with him even in broadcast and stuff. But his presence is a breath of fresh air. There's something about DK which brings positivity. And that's the way he is. And he's also a very astute thinker of the game. He's a smart character, right? Apart from the skill sets that he has a great understanding of the game. And so for the first time, not as a player, but someone from the support staff is helping the players now. So it's a role that is new to him in itself, right? So I don't know how much of RCB's success can be attributed to DK, but obviously there's Andy Flower, there's Mo Bobat, the rest of the support staff, and everyone's playing their role, right? But the decision to have DK continue to be a part of the franchise, DK's been with so many different teams.
Yes.
But I think he built a bond with RCB in the last few years that he spent at this franchise. The team saw what he brings to the table, and they believe that apart from wicket-keeping and finishing off games with the bat, he actually could contribute as a mentor for us as well. So I think kudos to the management in thinking about that, and DK agreeing to it, and him coming to be a part of the support staff was in itself a great decision. But of course, he has a lot of role to play in RCB's success as well. But so is the rest of the support staff as well.
True.
But I'm a big DK fan. So to your question, I'll say yes. Obviously, he's played a role. And you see Ashish Nehra always at the boundary line, right? For the Gujarat Titans and stuff like that. Constantly talking, constantly to Hardik Pandya before and now to Shubman Gill and stuff like that. And DK does exactly that, right? He does that. He's constantly talking. And he's been there. He continues to play. Even now, he played the SAT20. Yes. So he's a proper player. And he has a rare perspective of being a player and a coach, right? As a mentor, essentially, right? So, it's an interesting perspective that he would bring. He'll obviously get the respect of a lot of the youngsters because of what DK has achieved over the years as well, right? And when you have someone like Virat alongside, Rajat's there, and Andy Flower, Mo Bobat, there's a senior management over there and a leadership core over there that's built, and I think there's a lot of mutual respect over there. Right. As a fan from the outsider, I feel like it's a good vibe. Right. They're enjoying each other's success, and that's what we want. Yeah.
So RCB has been under pressure quite a few times this season, but we've not seen this earlier. And RCB just emerging out of that pressure, and somewhere we were like, unusual. I don't know if you'd agree with me, but this is like the new RCB. So, do you have to say anything about this new RCB coming out of pressure, defending totals at Chinnaswamy?
Like I said, I'm going to be restricted in terms of what I'm going to say, hoping that it all works out well. But in many ways, this is a different RCB. I think like in the balance in the team that we have, just the energy that we see. And when you're winning matches, everything looks good, obviously, right? So, new RCB is an interesting way to obviously put it, but so many times they won from losing positions. Last game against DC.
Yes.
What 25 for 3, I think we were.
Yes.
When Krunal walked into bat. I don't know. I don't know. There's maybe something in me is telling me that an RCB of the past may have folded.
Yes.
Right? But the fight they're showing is insane. Forget winning the game. We won it at the end pretty convincingly.
Yes.
Yeah, Tim came and finished the game off in no time. So, in that sense, yeah. And for me, the main thing, again, it goes back, is what is different with this RCB team is that every single one of them believes they can win a game for RCB. Right? Sometimes I wonder when you're having Gale and AB and Virat and all these superstars around you, you wonder in your mind subconsciously whether you're thinking that, listen, only they can win matches for RCB. Right? I'll try to do what I can to help them win matches.
Correct.
I wonder if there is a change in the belief system in every individual in this team where they're like, one day Krunal will say, I'll do it. Surya Sharma, we don't talk about him much, but his performances have been spectacular all through the season. And Jash Dayal against CSK, against MI. Josh Hazelwood has been brilliant in 3 different games. Bhuvneshwar Kumar's death bowling has been brilliant. Batting lineup, we spoke about it. Tim David on some occasions, Phil Salt, Virat Kohli, Rajat Patidar.
Yes.
We've literally named the entire 11, right? So everyone's believing they can be the player of the match essentially and help RCB win a game. For me, that is different. As a fan from the outside, when I see that if Virat gets out, I don't think the game is over.
Yes.
We have A, B, C, and D left in the batting order, and each of them can win matches for us. That, for me, feels a little different as a fan.
Correct. Each player is having their winning mentality.
Exactly.
Like, we need to... So, I wouldn't want to ask this, but I would still ask, what do you think are the chances of RCB lifting the cup this year? We'll keep fingers crossed and then say that.
Listen, been a fan of this franchise from the day it started in 2008. We will always continue to support this franchise regardless of the results. At the moment, there is enough reason as RCB fans to be optimistic as to how this season is going to be. And that's all. Let's just hope for the best. Don't want to say too much in advance. But just know that in the IPL, there are 10 teams and on their day, each team is capable of beating the other team.
Right.
Right? You could end up being the table topper. You could end up going into the finals being unbeaten in the entire season. Whatever said and done. Eventually comes down to performance on that one day. Right? So it'll be interesting to see where RCB end up on the top 4, hopefully in the top 2, so that,
Another chance.
we don't have to play the eliminator.
Yes.
But I don't want to say too much.
Okay, we'll just keep it there.
We'll keep it there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we go back in time. How was your first day at the set as the 12th man host for RCB? Like, I'll give you peak nostalgia, but how was that?
First ever interview on RCB 12th Man TV was Gary Kirsten. He was the head coach at the time in 2019. So first proper interview was Gary Kirsten at the team hotel. I wasn't nervous for whatever reason, touch wood, but I'm generally not nervous when I'm hosting, interviewing, whatever. But it was a surreal moment. Because I was about a year and a half after me quitting Google. And this was what I was hoping for. And then a year and a half later, I'm getting to be a part of the franchise that I've been a fan of for so long. And suddenly now I'm wearing the jersey and I'm part of the team. That felt really, really good. So Gary Kirsten was my first ever proper conversation on camera. Yeah.
So who is like this, according to you, the biggest sports person or cricketer in general that you have interviewed and you felt a feeling of accomplishment, like this is what I was dreaming of and this is what, like, full stop, like I have done this.
Of interviewing somebody?
Yes.
Listen, it's a cliched answer, but I've interviewed Virat
I knew.
once properly for Star Sports. This was when he was this was at the 1/8 marathon that he was started kicking off. And that was at 6 a.m. At 6 a.m. I interviewed Virat for 20 minutes on a highway in Bangalore, in a tent. It was too funny. And so far, so little, tiny that we're literally sitting next to each other. And we had a great conversation for 20 minutes and we still see those bites on Star Sports and stuff. So that was one. But in my first season as RCB 12th man host, I didn't interview Virat and EB for the entire season. And then in the last game when RCB beat SRH, thanks to Shimran Hetmeyer and Gurkirat Singh, great partnership, and they helped us beat SRH, but we were knocked out of the season anyway. So after that, we were in the dressing room. I was interviewing everyone in the dressing room. It was the last game of the season. We had won, so it was all happy. And then I was just walking down from the dressing room towards the team bus, and Virat and AB were right behind me. And I was chatting with Virat, with AB, and then Virat also comes behind me and he's making monkey faces and whatever. And so me interviewing AB de Villiers and Virat Kohli was literally for 3 minutes, 2 minutes, but in a very spontaneous manner it happened. It was a nice cherry on the cake. It was my first season with RCB and it ended with me interviewing Virat and AB. So that was nice.
So how different is it, as you said, it is one of the most well-known franchisee RCB. How different is it for hosting for RCB compared to the other gigs that you've done? Is there like an added pressure that, RCB hai, I need to get out the best content?
Not at all.
Not at all.
No pressure. Lots of love from the fans. A franchise that I've worked with them now for 6 years now. And so no real pressure at all. I love doing it. When I'm in front of the camera with a mic, I'm my full self. So there's no pressure and it's a lot of fun. And because of the RCB fans, it's even more fun.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Like you said, RCB fan. We're crazy. Like, we are just crazy. We do not know
mad.
right or
We're
left.
mental.
Yeah, like, it is an RCB match or flabbergasted, right? So what do you remember any fan story, like, related to RCB?
Fan story. Nothing that comes to mind.
As of now.
No, nothing that comes.
How have you evolved as an RCB fan from a child to then to like watching it as an adult and then being a 12th man host?
You know what? One challenge that I do have is to separate my profession from the emotion.
Right.
Right? When I'm doing it at Star Sports, it's fine because we're all India cricket fans, right? So when hosting a World Cup, obviously you're going to be pro-India. But when I'm doing it, let's say in a different environment, obviously I'm an RCB fan. For example, I was doing the WPL recently. Right. But how do you not bring the RCB fan in you when you're hosting a show for the WPL?
Correct.
And be a little more neutral, right? So that's a challenge because
Right.
I'm a hardcore RCB fan. My emotions are there for everyone to see. So that's a little bit of a challenge, especially when you're so passionate about one franchise. When you're working, you want to keep that emotion and that passion outside, finish work, and then you can come back.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I pick up from where you were speaking about, Virat making funny faces. That is another side of Virat, but his intensity
Yeah.
is something the entire cricketing fraternity talks about, right? So have you seen his intensity off field, like say in dressing room, when he speaks serious cricket?
Not much.
Not much.
No.
On field,
On field is what everyone sees,
Right.
but I haven't seen much off field. Yeah.
of the field. So what do you have to say about, hosting RCB 12th man then and how it is like, it's just kept evolving. The fandom and initially it was the Chinnaswamy would chant. Now every stadium, a domestic game, everywhere you go, there is an RCB fan. I'm driving down here and I've seen 2-3 RCB fans. We go out somewhere, we see an RCB fan. I saw my, milkman wear an RCB jersey and I was like, what is actually happening?
It's only getting bigger and bigger every passing year.
Yes.
Right? And it's insane. You're saying about things in Bangalore. You go and watch the SA-T20 in South Africa, someone's wearing an RCB jersey. You go to the Big Bash in Australia, someone's wearing an RCB jersey. CPL in the West Indies, someone is wearing an RCB jersey. If there's representation by an RCB player, chances are some fan is there in the stands and he's chanting RCB in some other country in the world. So that's how crazy this franchise is. And for the IPL, millions watch it in the United Kingdom, in the United States, and so many other parts of the world, right? And we think in Bangalore it's like this, but it's actually like this around the world, not even around India. And for the first time, I'm hearing chants of RCB at Chepauk, at the Wankhede. Unreal, right? Because obviously, two of the biggest rivals, CSK and MI, and you wouldn't necessarily expect to hear opposition teams or away teams chanting, right? In those grounds. But we heard that this time. And it was nice that we beat them also. But the fandom for this franchise is never going to stop growing, right? It's only going to go bigger and bigger and bigger. It's unreal. And to be a part of that feels amazing.
It's like, I think one thing comes into my mind, RCB is like gold. It's always an appreciating asset. It's never, ever going to dip
100%.
down. So each growing year, where are we going to accommodate those many fans? It's like crazy. It's just, at this point, it just feels like one entire unit, one entire family that comes together even when we don't know each other. Like we're all...
I think in Virat's recent interview on the podcast with Mayanti,
Yes.
and he said that the fans have given so much love. The loyalty is two-way, not just the fans to the players, but the players to the fans as well, or him to the fans. And he's like, no trophy can ever come close to that. Obviously, winning an IPL it's going to be massive for RCB. Nobody's going to deny that. But this love affair that the fans have for this franchise I don't think any other franchise has it that way.
Right.
And to be a part of that love affair feels nice.
No, if you could bring back one of the day when you were as the 12th man TV host, if you could bring back one of those days from the 12th man TV days, what would that one day be? And if we could know, like, why that one day?
That's interesting. Relive a day, is it?
Yes.
Lots of good days.
Any specific day where you interviewed somebody or like a winning moment and it was all just happy?
Oh, that year, by the way, my first year at RCB was a dreadful year. We lost our first 6 games on the trot. No one particular day, I'll say. Lots of season. This season.
I think this season, touch wood again, we'll just leave it there. We won't talk about anything. Welcome to our game segment, which is called Mic Drop or Not. So you've hosted so many ICC tournaments and you've put people under pressure while you host them. So today I will flip the coin and put you under pressure.
Let's go.
So it's very simple. I will throw rapid fire situations and questions at you, and you would just say mic drop or not. And we'll have like a one-liner explanation also.
Okay, done.
We'll start.
Okay.
No overthinking, nothing. Just whatever comes to your mind. RCB's first IPL win after all these years.
Mic drop, man. For sure. Can't wait.
A staged, overly rehearsed interaction with a player.
What would that be?
Like, you've rehearsed something over and over again, but
Yeah.
not having those emotions.
Oh, nah.
Nah.
No, of course not.
The stadium's energy when RCB hits a last ball 6 and we win the match.
Chinnaswamy is the loudest place there is in India when RCB is playing. Of course, mic drop.
A live broadcast interrupted by a tech glitch. I'm sure you must have gone through.
Yeah, of course. No, don't want that to be happening.
When a player makes an epic comeback after being dropped.
Of course, mic drop, big time. As a player, that's what you live for.
Right.
That someone didn't believe in you, but you believed in yourself. You come back, you make it happen. Phenomenal.
You've made an amazing dinner. Like, you cooked a meal, which we've recently seen a passion of yours, and an amazing RCB match going on. So how is that feeling? And RCB has also won the match.
Of course, mic drop.
Mic
too.
drop.
Nothing like it.
Good food, good match equals to
And
good taste.
RCB winning.
Yes. Okay. Virat Kohli's iconic on-field energy, and if you want to talk anything about that.
As in, for me, the first thing that comes to mind is Virat's century against Punjab when he had stitches in his hand, and that celebration when he scored that century in a 15-over game or something.
Right.
That was unbelievable. I think the energy that you saw in that game essentially is Virat's energy on a cricket field all through his career. Mic drop.
A very intense game that RCB has won, or like a okay game with a comfortable win for RCB?
Intense game for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
The RCB squad, like the entire team turning up together for an impromptu fan meet.
Ooh, that'll be nice. Mic drop for sure.
Do you think it can happen?
I don't know. I don't have the power to make that happen, but it'll be nice if it does.
Okay, you've just gotten a message saying that you have to be on a panel with 3 of your favorite commentators. How was that?
Ooh. 3 of my favorite commentators. Can I say 4?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. When it comes to proper analysis of the game and who I want to hear, Ian Bishop and Nasser Hussain.
Okay.
In terms of building up the hype and lead commentary, Ravi Shastri and Mark Nicholas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your experience hosting the WPL with our legend Mithali Raj, how was that?
Absolutely brilliant. Scored 11,000 runs for India. Batting royalty, right? But just covering the WPL in itself was a great experience with some really star cricketers. Mithali, Anjum, Mel, Natalie, and so many others. Great experience, mic drop moment for me.
Mic drop moment for you,
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, last question. Janta wants to know, who is the most famous contact on your phone? If you can only reveal it to the people.
I don't know. I don't know who's the most famous contact I have. I'm trying to think.
Think.
Does Mr. Nags count?
Of course.
Mr. Nags, please.
He is like a homely emotion for all RCB fans.
Of course.
Okay, last. Very chill question. How was it for you to be interviewed by me?
Mic drop moment for sure.
Just joking. Looking back at your entire journey, what is that one moment that still stands out for you?
I think being on air when India won the T20 World Cup.
Okay.
100%.
What's next for you? Any exciting project or, a gig that is coming up and you want all of your fans to know?
It's funny, but it's interesting how life is, right? It so happened that in the last 2 to 3 years, a lot of gigs that I was really hoping I'll be a part of, for whatever reason, I didn't get to be a part of those gigs. But a lot of things that I didn't even think will come my way have come my way. And so I think that's taught me one thing. Live in the moment. don't worry about what's coming next. And so I'm open to anything and everything. That's really what this broadcast career as a freelancer has taught me, is that a lot of things are not in your control, right? So enjoy what comes your way and not worry too much about what may or may not come, right? Don't think too much about that. Having said that, to answer your question, generally after the IPL, June, July, August, September is the time for domestic T20 tournaments like the Maharaja Trophy, Maharashtra, Karnataka, Andhra, lots of other Punjab, lots of other tournaments that I do. So I'm generally busy for 3 to 4 months as a commentator in those tournaments. Then it's time for the Pro Kabaddi League after that. So that's generally how my second half of the year is.
Pro Kabaddi League is also getting too much attention, like is finally getting their due attention, because again, Kabaddi is also one sport where it's again intense and, just half an hour, you never know when games can change. And there we have Bengaluru Bulls at least having one trophy. How has that actually been for you? Like, how different is it while you host cricket and while you host Kabaddi?
Different. I don't think it's too different, because from a Bangalore point of view, the fandom, whether it's the Bulls or RCB, is insane, right?
Okay.
Or whether it's BFC also, right?
Yes.
We Bangalore people love our clubs, right? And so that's great. But Kabaddi, the Pro Kabaddi League is special to me because it was my first entry into Star Sports, and I was always dreaming as to when I'll be a broadcaster there. And my first real gig that Star gave me was the Pro Kabaddi League. So it's very near and dear to me. I've done 4 seasons now as a presenter and commentator. And I look forward to those 2 to 3 months, enjoy every bit of it. It's a fast-paced sport, very addictive, 40 minutes a game.
Yes.
Like you said, it gets over that quickly and it can change easily as well. I love the Pro Kabaddi League and enjoy being on broadcast for that.
How do you actually manage, just family and everything? Because when leagues like this happen, you have to travel often. Yeah. How do you manage it?
I travel a lot, but I love every bit of it. I'm someone who enjoys traveling. In 6 to 8 months in a year, I'm generally on the move.
Wow.
But I was always mentally prepared, knowing that if I get into this space, that's how it's going to be. And so travel is part and parcel. But the good thing is that I like the travel.
Right.
But you should ask that question to my wife as well. She'll have different things to say.
Yeah, of course.
It's hard for us to plan anything, Right. It's too funny because last year we were planning our anniversary trip. We had booked our tickets to Japan.
Okay.
And all of that happened. And it was about a week to leave to Japan. And then Star Sports reached out saying, hey, would you be available for the World Cup? And I was like, what? I woke up to that message and I showed it to her. And she's like, what? Obviously meant that we canceled the tickets and all of that for good reason.
Yeah.
But that's the tough part, because some of these things happen last minute in this industry. So planning something for personal stuff can be a little tricky.
But did that Japan trip happen?
It did happen. We went later in the year.
Oh, but it happened. So no complaints.
Yeah.
Because T20 World Cup to why for people?
Of course.
Oh, please go. So how happy are you, and on the scale of 1 to 10 currently where you are?
God's been kind. I'm happy. Been lucky enough to get whatever has come my way. It's easy for me to sit here and talk about the last 7 years, but it's a tough journey. As a freelancer, when you don't have stability in terms of your income, in terms of your work, opportunities, it's a tough space. It's a very niche industry. So for you to break into this industry is not easy. Obviously, I'll still continue to hope to do better, land different opportunities. It's always part and parcel, right? You're ambitious, no matter what you're doing. Whether I was at Google, whether as a broadcaster, or whatever else I do. Obviously, you're always constantly looking at what next. That's part and parcel for all of us. But I think every now and then I just pause and I reflect that what I've gotten so far itself has been a blessing. So I'm very grateful for that. And so I wouldn't have it any other way.
So what is that one message that you would like to give all the RCB fans that supported you and the team throughout these years?
And a big part of why I can sit here and talk about my journey is because of the love that the RCB fans have shown. And I didn't even know what I was signing up for when I started to work with RCB in 2019. And then suddenly I'm traveling to all the venues and there are RCB fans everywhere. And that felt surreal. And that's never changed, right? Now, over the last 7 years, the love that the fans have given me, I appreciate every bit of it. And I'm one of the fans as well. So to be able to represent a lot of the fans, even on RCB 12th Man TV, is a privilege.
Yeah.
Enjoyed every bit of it. And like I can say, there are no fans like the RCB fans.
This brings us to the end of the podcast. I hope you had a nice time
Thank
with
you
this
so much.
podcast.
A little nostalgic,
Right,
talking about a lot of the stuff that happened many years back, but it feels nice.
right.
Hopefully we'll catch up again on the 26th of May, hoping that something special happens on the 20th.
We all pray that. Thank you all for being a part of this podcast. I hope you've garnered some level of insights from this podcast. And we will be back very soon with another guest with a new face to let us know in the comments which guest that you would like to come on our podcast. And thank you again for being a part of this podcast. It was a lovely, lovely time, a good conversation that we had. And I hope all you Navneeth Krishna fans have gotten a good conversation with him.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much.